Hey, look, it's the real person back this time, not the black and white sort of. Yeah.
It's the actual me. Crazy part is we were under tornado watches all morning.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, tornado, wherever you are, you got to pass quick or Gray's going to kill me. So hurry up.
I'm going to move you up in the shot so you look more like how I look. All it was your head. Yeah, it wasn't quite that bad. Well, now I'm too high. Okay, I'll get right here. Yeah, so we're going to be doing the, I don't think I did it on my channel, the part about doing a back and forth reading of the Barbara MacDonald interview. I think I tried to read it myself, but we're going to do that on here. But there's a lot of people, from basically, I think, from your channel that didn't follow the Delphi case as much, but we went over the Delphi case on a show, and then we went into how the Anthony Shots account was brought up. So we'll just play that video really quick just to show how that progressed again. So the Delphi case, it was always told that there was no social media involvement. It was told to the family and everybody. People would still say it, but you'd go, yeah, they already said it's not. But it turns out that I think they did a reset in 2019, and it sort of led back to discoveries of these deeper dives into areas that they should have originally. That's led them to really focus in on the Kegan Kline and Anthony.
What made you? What do you think happened? Why you followed this so closely? Why did they feel like there was no social media aspect if there was this?
Well, I think they cleared him originally. Like, okay, yeah, he's got this crap on his phone. He liked one of her comments, but we can't find anything. And then later on, when forensic, I don't know, a reset happened, and maybe they finally got like subpoenas and sent it out to Snapchat and all these different places, and then got the data back and saw a little bit way more, actually, that there was communication in that, the Barbara MacDonald document we're going to go over, and then there's a 194-page document. Those were both documents that were not supposed to be released, but a clerical error was put out there, and the Murder Sheet, the podcast, the Murder Sheet, really good podcast, they stumbled upon it right at the right time and grabbed both of them. And
Smart.
And so it was just crazy how they got those. And so we're able to see what's going on, what's been going on for probably 2 years now behind the scenes that we didn't know about.
Yeah. These were very interesting. You sent them over, and I read the larger one when you sent it that night, and then I read this one yesterday. I had seen a bit of this one with Barbara before. It's just really interesting to know that this has been going on behind the scenes, and that maybe they are getting close to something, hopefully.
Yeah, it really feels like
it's taken so long.
Especially when if you go over the long one and really focus in on it, you can tell that they've got some really damning information out there. But here's how. So I think it was like December 13th of 2021, out of nowhere, Indiana State Police put out this, I'll just switch over to here, put out this this video. We'll just watch it again. Let me see if I can fit the screen here.
My name is Sergeant Jeremy Piers, the Public Information Officer with the Indiana State Police out of the Lafayette Post. While investigating the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, detectives with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office and the Indiana State Police have uncovered an online profile named Anthony Shots. This profile was being used from 2016 to 2017 on social media applications, including but not limited to Snapchat and Instagram. The fictitious Anthony Shots profile used images of a known male model and portrayed himself as being extremely wealthy and owning numerous sports cars. The creator of the fictitious profile used this information while communicating with juvenile females to solicit nude images, obtain their address, and attempt to meet with them. Pictured on your screen, you'll see images of the known male model and images of the fictitious profile sent to the underage females. We have already identified the male in these images that were used by Anthony Shots. The male in the photo is not the person of interest in the investigation. Detectives are seeking information about the person who created the Anthony Shots profile. Investigators would like any individual who communicated, met, or attempted to meet the Anthony Shots profile to contact law enforcement by utilizing the tip email, Abby and Libby tip at cacoshrf.com. Please provide as much information as you possibly can. For example, when you communicated with Anthony Shots, how you communicated with the profile, what social media applications the account used, and if Anthony Shots attempted to meet you or obtain your address. If you have saved images or conversations with Anthony Shots' profile, please attach them to your email. Again, if you have any information, please contact law enforcement by utilizing the tip email, Abby and Libby tip at cacoshrf.com. Thank you.
All right. Well, see, that's pretty crazy because it's it does mention that they want to know about the creator of the profile there. Mm-hmm. And then I think it was this Wish TV though. So they actually are the ones that came out with and related the Anthony Shots profile here to it says may have interacted with Williams or German. And it turns out it was much more. Like there was literally, in that 194-page document, we find out that there was long conversation. The account, Anthony Shots and Libby were having long conversations. You know, like the kind that you don't want people to have. You know, I mean, I'm just saying.
With your young kid.
Let's see.
It's unbelievable what goes on these social media apps.
Yeah, maybe. How long is this?
We'll take a turn now to that child porn arrest that may be connected to the murders of 2 young girls in Delphi. State police have now addressed one major question that keeps getting asked since Wish TV first broke that story last week. Why did it take more than 3 years to make an arrest? News 8's Demi Johnson
I guess it was
the first to report on this case earlier, or last week, I should say, and she's here now. What did you learn today?
Yeah, Phil, this is a rare public statement from state police addressing the timing of charges in a specific criminal case. It shows state police are asking the same question that so many people want answered since our first report. Why was a man who admitted using the profile to get sexual pictures and videos of underage girls allowed to walk free for 3 years?
Detectives with the Carroll County Sheriff's Office and the Indiana State Police have uncovered an online profile named Anthony Shots.
It was 1 week ago. State police urged anyone who had contact with the social media profile Anthony Shots to come forward to talk to them. But they had known about the account for more than 3 years. I uncovered court documents last week that showed Kegan Kline admitted in February 2017 that he started the fake profile and that he used it to get more than 100 sexual pictures and videos of young girls. That interview happened February 25th, 2017, just 12 days after the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German. But I also discovered it would take until August 2020 for Kline to be arrested.
Well, of course I question why, but I also don't have all the information in front of me and the stuff that they were poised, or positioned up against. So I won't question that, at least at this point in time. Now, if I find out something different, I have no problem calling them out. And all those investigators know that, from Doug Carter on down. He knows me, and I have no problem calling them out.
After our reporting, state police issued a statement Monday acknowledging the delay. They say they've conducted dozens of secondary investigations based on information in the murders of Abby and Libby. It goes on to say the information we have, and continue to receive concerning Kline has ebbed and flowed over these last few years, and that once the Indiana State Police presented the criminal case to the Miami County prosecutor in June of 2020, immediate action was taken by both the Indiana State Police and the Miami County Prosecutor's Office, which ultimately resulted in Kline's arrest. It does not say what happened in the case between February 2017 and June of 2020, but does say we will always review, learn from, and make any necessary adjustments. We do not believe that any person has done anything intentionally wrong, but we will continue to critically evaluate our efforts. It ends somewhat cryptically. One day, you will have the opportunity to see and know what we do, and we look forward to that day. Kline is due back in court this week in the child porn case. Now, we want to stress again that he's not been charged in the Delphi murders. In fact, no one has. In the statement, state police called the deaths of Abby and Libby a long, complex, and extremely complicated murder investigation. Demi Johnson, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
New this hour, Indianapolis gets millions for
So anyways, that was pretty crazy. And then that led to this document right here that came out. This is this one. It was a probable cause affidavit, and it goes through this whole, talks about every one of his devices that he had. And then he's the devices that he was using around the time that Abby and Libby were murdered. One of them he kept, and I guess one of them was deleted before police got there. So he had deleted it during the week prior.
Yeah, the kick application.
Yeah, there was one, and then on the 25th, when the police went over to his house to do a search warrant, they went in there. They took all of his devices, and on all those devices were all kinds of conversations with underage girls, videos and pictures and disgusting shit. And he was perfectly fine with them finding that. Like, oh yeah, that's great. But then he was taken down to the station. I mean, I'm not sure if he was fine with it, but he was okay with them getting those devices and those images and those conversations. And then he gets taken down to the station that same night and given a polygraph test. Then he's driven home, and then that very same night he takes out the iPhone 5 that he didn't give them, and he starts deleting messages, or not just messages, whole applications, reinstalling, doing this to try to wipe it all off the phone. Then he 2 days later he ends up getting back to the police, and then 2 days after that it finally goes through a forensic review, but it was all deleted.
Goodness.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty wild. So this document came out. Then just after, like right around the same time, that's when Barbara MacDonald was able to go get an interview with Kegan in his jail cell. It's actually the 194-page document would be in chronological order the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because even in that one, you probably noticed that he didn't ever infer to his dad at all. Like he would just kind of, oh yeah, no, he was trying to make it sound like his friend, some unknown friend that was blacked out, was the one that
he just acted, I don't know.
Yeah, may have had access to his phone. That's the thing. There's his friend. He kept saying, well, I have a friend that had access to it.
Right.
And they kept wanting him to say, my dad, what about your dad? What about your dad? But they didn't.
He's hesitant to, I felt initially that he might have been hesitant to. And then, hearing about his dad's behavior, he mentions that they have a good relationship in here, but then he goes on to talk about his childhood a bit. So I wonder if it's fear-based or why he doesn't want to be more firm on it, or...
Yeah, well, that's what's weird. What's weird is in the 194-page one, though, he doesn't ever throw his dad under the bus or even suggest that his dad. And I think something changed. I actually think that I heard somehow that somebody was supposed to come forward, maybe even Kegan, and then he just changed his mind. Then the police, then they put out this whole ISP stuff leading back to Kegan Kline to put pressure on him. And if you know that, then now in the Barbara MacDonald interview, he definitely, he goes back and forth, but he suggests that his dad is possible. But back in 2000, when the 194-page document, he always just left them out of the picture, even though they would go to, they went to Vegas and were going to go to brothels together. And somehow they're not going to share porn pictures. He goes, oh, no, I'd never do that with my dad. Are you kidding me? But yeah, we'd go to a brothel for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
A photo? No, never.
Yeah. So, I guess we can do the...
So Gray and I are going to do a little role-playing today.
Yeah, we're going to read.
He's going to be the very lovely Anthony Schatz. Kidding.
Kegan Kline.
Kegan. I call him Kegan, but it's Kegan?
Yeah, I guess it's Kegan, yeah.
Kegan.
And I don't even care how you say it. It's like, who gives a shit how to...
I wasn't sure what it was, Kegan or Kegan, but I'm a Bostonian. I'm going to say Kegan every time. But
Yeah, I was saying Kegan too, but I keep hearing it pronounced Kegan by like
Kegan.
people that know him, you know.
That's
So
I don't like that, but anyway.
all right, well, I guess we're gonna give this a shot. I did this on my channel with Cold Truth on the 194-page document. That took 2 nights. It was crazy.
Yeah, I bet that took a while. Well, this shouldn't take too long, but it'll give some insight into this guy's brain, maybe. So
Yeah.
we'll just start here with line 3, right, Barbara?
Well,
Hi,
I guess
Kegan,
I
how are you?
guess I say hello.
Yeah, you're answering the phone. or
hello.
something.
That's
Hi,
it.
Kegan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. My name's Barbara. We haven't met.
Yeah, I didn't know your name.
Do you realize your name?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Oh wait, that's you. Can you hear me?
okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? That's probably what I said.
Can you hear me okay?
Can you hear me? Okay, that's me. Wait, that's you, man. This is crazy because the undiscernible.
Hey, you're the A and I'm the Q.
Yeah, but the undiscernible parts are weird
We don't
because
know
I.
what the hell
Well, I know I probably said. Can you hear me? Let's go back to 8. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's black real bad. I couldn't hear you for a few seconds.
Oh, so are you aware that there's a bunch of news stories out there linking you to the Delphi murders?
Yeah, I saw that on the news.
How do you feel about that?
I felt like I'm being harassed completely.
Did you have anything to do with the murders
Hell no.
of Abby and Libby?
Not at all. I've gave up my DNA, a hair follicle test. I've done everything they've wanted me to.
Where were you on February 13th, 2017?
I was at my house. They have my GPS locations and everything.
And you were on Peru, Indiana?
Yeah.
Not India. Okay. That you created this fake profile, Anthony Schatz. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So Anthony Schatz was communicating with Libby.
That's what they're telling me.
Was that you?
That's what they said.
Was that you?
No, not that I remember, but that's what they're saying.
So you may have been communicating with Libby, but maybe not.
Right.
And were you ever trying to meet these girls in real life
No,
that you were talking to?
not ever.
So you were just asking for images
Right.
and talk.
Right.
Did that cut out again?
Yeah, it's been cutting out and...
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
So do you remember the night of the 13th, the night that the girls went missing? Do you remember communicating with Kelsey German?
It's actually spelled just with an I at the end, no EY. No, I don't.
Has anybody else had access to the Anthony Schatz login?
Hey, let me pause it really quick. So that's pretty interesting right here. Do you remember communicating with Kelsey German? Well, the thing is, it turns out that she did message, because she went when Libby was missing, she found that account had communicated with Libby. So Kelsey then messaged that person and had a short dialogue, but it wasn't. There was no, nothing, no red flags or anything. So.
Okay.
All right. So you said, has anybody? I mean.
Information?
I live with my dad, but I don't know.
Do you think your dad could have been accessing that profile?
Yeah. And so, not to interrupt again, but see, I live with my dad, but I don't know. See, what's weird is in the 194 pages, he had a million chances to say that exact sort of slight chance that his dad did it, and never said it one time. Because he was, I think at that point, he was protecting him. That's what my opinion is. Okay. I live with my dad, but I don't know.
Do you think your dad could have been accessing that profile?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think your dad could be involved in
No.
what happened to Abby and Libby?
No, because I was with him that day.
So you were both at home in Peru, Indiana.
Yeah, I lived with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know that he didn't have anything to do with the murders.
Right.
But you think he might have been using that profile to talk to girls?
Yeah, that's the only person that could have, because he lived there. You know what I mean?
So you guys all had access to the same
Electronic devices?
electronic items?
Right, yeah.
So in the search warrant or the probable cause affidavit for the arrest for the charges you're facing right now,
Right.
it says that you had turned over a bunch of electronics when they first searched your home.
Right.
And when they did that search warrant on your home, did you know that was regarding Abby and
No.
Libby's case?
No, they would not show me anything. I didn't even see the search warrant still to this day.
Really?
Well, he's lying there, because he actually was polygraphed for Abby and Libby, and there was somewhere I read where they mentioned it prior to that, at the home even. Yeah, and both times I've been, because that happened in 2017. Then I was arrested for these charges in August 19th, 2020. They still never showed me a search warrant.
Wow. So you don't know then what the search warrant, which case that was about, whether that was just...
No, I had no clue. I asked them, hey, what is this for? And they told me to shut the hell up and get in the car.
And so are you aware whether you may have talked to Libby on the 13th?
That's what they said. That's what the police keep telling me.
That you did?
Yeah.
And do you have any recollection of
No.
that?
Not at all. And I've told them 100 times I've done everything they've wanted me to do. It's like they're just harassing me at this point.
So were you surprised that all of this came out this week?
Oh yeah, they told me they were gonna put something, and I said that's fine with me. I don't care, you know. I'm innocent, so you can put out whatever you want. And I have a friend in Texas that's texting me and telling me, "Hey, you're on the news here."
Yeah, and now it's all over.
Yep.
It's national news.
Right.
Have you talked to any other reporters?
No, I have
since this happened?
not. No, I have not.
Do you have any interview requests?
I mean, I'm open to anything, but no.
Okay. Have you been cooperating with the investigators?
Yeah, 100%. Anything they ask me to.
And when was the last time you talked to any of these investigators?
This would have been Monday. They came to the jail on Monday.
And what did they want from you on Monday?
A polygraph test.
And what did you say?
I said, yeah. They jogged me around for over an hour. My lawyer was in there, and I told him, hey, like 3 or 4 times, hey, give me the polygraph test. And he didn't. He kept saying, no, I got more stuff to ask you.
So you've never been polygraphed?
I have one time when that was actually February 25th, 2017. But I have one time when it happened, because immediately I was like, well, give me a polygraph test, a DNA, whatever you want. I'll do anything. And
you did give them your DNA?
Yep. A hair follicle test.
Okay. So what kinds of things have these investigators been talking to you about?
More about my case here, and then my involvement with the Delphi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you been to Delphi?
No, I was in Delphi in a high school football game, but that's the only time I've ever been to Delphi.
Have you been out on the Monon High Bridge?
It's Monon High Bridge. Let's see. I say, I have no clue where it even is. I couldn't tell you how to get to Delphi.
So then why do you think the investigators are putting so much focus on you right now?
I have no clue. But I think because they said I was the last person to talk to her, is what they've told me.
Oh, and then she shows up at the bridge, and they're abducted and later found dead.
Right. Well, let me just say this part. So right here, when they say they think that he was the last person to talk to her, it's really the Anthony Schatz account. They don't know who was using it, but they're saying that was you, right? And then, okay, so you said that, and I said, right.
And that was not you?
No, 100% no. They have my GPS the whole day.
And how do they have your GPS for the whole day? From your phone?
Well, from my phone, yeah.
Okay.
They can, and I don't know how they do it, but yeah. And he showed me that day all my GPS locations. You know what I mean?
And none of them were in Delphi?
No, not even close.
Do you think investigators are thinking your dad could be involved in the murders?
Well, I know about 2 Fridays ago, or it was, I think it was 3 Fridays ago, they raided him. And I'm not sure what it was about or what, but on the news I saw them show the house, and then his neighbor talked to the police and said, or talked to the reporter and said that he was raided. But I've tried to contact him. He won't contact me back, so I don't know. And here's the thing, is I think he was raided because of stuff that Kegan's probably was telling them, and then he changed his, he tried to switch back, and that's why they said they're going to go forward with something earlier. So anyways.
So what's your relationship like today?
Today with my dad, we don't talk at all, but up until...
Why is that?
I don't know, up until about 2-3 weeks ago, just before the raid, he would talk to me every day, come out and view me at the visit, or have a visit with me all the time. A few times a week. He'd put money on my books. I mean, we would talk every day almost.
And so he's sort of been ghosting you then?
Yep.
Since the last, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Since the raid on his...
Well, there you go. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Does that sound to you like he's scared?
I would think, because I have no reason... I'm not sure if he said would. He probably would have said wouldn't, right? I would think, because I have no reason why he would talk to me, you know what I mean? I'm his only child. I mean, we had a great relationship. Right.
Do you think he's the type of person who
I don't think so, because I was with him. You know what I mean? So I know it wasn't him, but in the past he had he's beaten up his ex-wife. I mean, he's held guns to us when we were kids. You know what I mean? He's not really a great person. You know what I mean?
So he's been violent.
He had a great, look at that right here. Had a great relationship with it.
He pulled gun on us.
What a joke.
Other things.
Jesus. Yeah, he's been violent. Yeah, he's been violent. I'm just gonna add it in. You can.
And then
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Can I ask? Do you know who Ron Logan is?
No, I don't.
Ron Logan's the property owner where the girls' bodies were found out by the bridge.
Oh, okay.
Do you know if your father knows him?
I have no clue. I've never heard that name before.
Interesting. So your father has never stopped communicating with you before this?
It's interesting. I'm just stopping because I didn't really... See, it's Ron Logan's property where the girls were found. They searched Ron Logan's property. He actually served jail time because he broke some parole stuff with drinking and everything. But now that he's there's a pedophile ring here, now it sort of makes you wonder, because she actually got a search warrant document, Barbara MacDonald did, from the Ron Logan search, and it refers to the video. And that's where we finally learn that the video at the end of the bridge was actually at 2:13, so it was only 7 minutes after the time there's one shot on the bridge at 2:07. So just 6 minutes later, actually, they make it all the way to the other end of the bridge, and the video itself was apparently only 45 seconds long or something. And that was all mentioned in a search warrant. They didn't put that out there, but I know I could tell by reading it what it was about, or where it was taken from. But anyways, so where are we at here? And is that you?
No. Has your father ever stopped communicating with you before this?
What line are you on?
You're on 12.
Okay. No, when I got arrested on August 19th, 2020, he didn't talk to me for about 5 months, and then just one day, I think it was April, he just started talking to me again. But yeah, I mean, my whole life, we've always had a great relationship. My whole life. Besides when I was a kid, you know.
Oh, who and what do you mean besides when you were a kid? Was he abusive?
Yeah, real bad.
In what way?
Physical and emotional. A lot. Pretty much emotional my whole life.
So how? And tell me about the 13th. What were you guys doing all day that you know for sure that he was with you the whole day?
Well, he doesn't work on Monday through Saturday, and Monday or Sunday and Mondays, so we would always just hang out. I don't even know, I couldn't make that out. So we would always just hang out at the house, go to my grandparents. But I remember that day we watched a wrestling pay-per-view that night.
And?
Oh yeah, and he was at my grandparents with me around 5 and 6. Then the rest of the night, but he usually sleeps, you know, because he works third shift. So.
Okay.
He normally sleeps until about 1 or 2. And remember, the murders were at 2:07's the first photograph. So, you know, if he only slept till 1, then there's time. You know, that puts him in the ballpark. He normally sleeps until about 1 or 2, then we wake up, get lunch, you know, stuff like that.
Okay. And so you know that he was with you from 1 or 2, Monday the 13th.
He says right, but you notice here it just says we normally do that.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean he did it that day. He remembers this wrestling thing at night at 5 something. But
right, I wonder if they proved that too, though.
Yeah, apparently. Well, I guess the event was on a different night, but I guess you can still watch him on a different. By paying for it, you can watch it. But
yeah, pay-per-view would show when they ordered it for sure.
Yeah. So right.
Throughout the evening.
Right. Yeah.
So how do you reconcile this in your head? This focus on you.
I have no clue. I've asked them. I'm like, what else do you want me to do? You know what I mean? And it's like they're harassing me. They will not stop. It's like I've done everything they want. They went through all my phones. They know everything about me. They've talked to people that I know. You know what I mean? It's like they will not stop.
But you were involved in child pornography.
The charges against me, yeah.
You.
I mean, the charges against me, yeah.
So, in one of the charges, trying to solicit a child to meet you for sex?
That's what they said, but the evidence in my thing doesn't show anything like that.
Okay,
yes,
but maybe somebody else was using that profile and trying to do that?
Right.
But your dad would be the only other person who...
Yeah, notice now he's saying but in that 194-page document, he throws this one friend under the bus 1,000, like as many chances as he can get. So,
well, Dad's about to go down in this one.
Yeah, that's crazy. Would I have access to that profile? Yes.
What would you like to ask your father right now?
Really, I texted him the other day and just asked, why are you believing everyone over your own son? You know what I mean? I don't get, I'm his only son and daughter. I don't know what the hell that even means. Because he doesn't have a daughter, I don't think.
Right.
I'm an only child. It's like, why are you just giving up on me over nothing? Well, I get it's not over nothing, but why were we fined 2 weeks ago, and then they raid you, and it's like, now you're not going to talk to me?
Do you remember who the investigators were that came to talk to you?
It was one, you mean last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trooper Vito is his name. Vito.
Okay.
And so this interview was just a couple months ago, but the entire 194-page document was performed by Vito, right there.
Vito, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was by himself, and he came and he saw you on Monday.
Yep.
And then they said that they were going to release something tonight.
Yep.
Were they trying to get something from you that day?
Yeah, because I was supposed to do a polygraph test that day.
And you said you agreed, but...
And, yeah.
Then they didn't follow through.
3 or 4 times I said, are you going to do it? And he just keeps dragging it on. And I told him, hey, I'll do it right now. Just give me the polygraph test. And he wouldn't. And then they take 3 guys out of my cell block down there to ask them questions about me that night.
Do you know what they said?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Have you followed the case of Abby and Libby at all?
No, not really. Lie.
Since it happened?
No, except he remembers exactly what he was doing, watching the wrestling that
and
night.
He's been questioned many times.
Yeah, what a joke. What he's ridiculous. No.
What do you want people to know about you?
That I'm innocent of this. I would love to find out who did it. That 2 kids died. That's 2 kids died. You know what I mean? And I just want them to know it's not me. And I gave everything to the state police that they've asked. Everything.
There was, when they collected your electronics back in 20, was that 2017?
Yeah.
And they took all of your...
Yep.
And one phone, you said you found it a few days later, and you called them and you said, I have this?
Well, it was immediately after I got home. They did a whole interview with me and then took me home. That was a polygraph test. An officer did. And it was right on the counter. I mean, Jesus. That's just, I'm just telling you right now, that's complete bullshit, but it almost sounds like he's trying to set up his dad, because how the hell would the phone just miraculously appear on the counter? But it's not what happened. And all the stuff he's saying right here isn't true, coming up here. And I was like, what the hell? So I called them immediately. No, you did not. 2 hours later, you started deleting apps from the phone. And then I think it was the next day or 2 days later, you called them and said, hey, I found my phone, and gave it back to them. So anyway, so I called them immediately from my dad's phone and told them, hey, there's a phone that you guys didn't get. They came the next day and got it. That's not true. It's weird.
Right. And you had deleted some things from some of your electronics?
I deleted an application, yeah.
And what app was that?
I think it was Kik, K-I-K.
And why did you delete that app?
And that actually isn't what was on the affidavit either. It was other apps.
It was a different app, right?
Yeah. And why did you delete that? I don't know. I really don't know. But they got me for obstruction of justice for that. There was a woman that I talked to there, and her name was Tracy. It started with a K. But she was with a child protective something. And I was like, well, if he goes, just be done with it. And I was like, well, I'm going to delete everything. And she goes, yes, that's fine. And so I did. So he's actually trying to pin the obstruction of justice on a social worker. There's no way in hell a social worker would say, yeah.
Go ahead, delete it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Good. It's fine.
Yes, that's fine. And just so I did that, and still hit me with obstruction of justice 2 times for that, even though she said it was okay to do that. No. I told her, hey, this is a big wake up. You know what I mean?
And so your attorney?
Yeah, Andrew Aki maybe?
Aki?
Yeah.
And what is he telling you about what is going on?
Well, see, he's not my attorney for the Delphi case, so he can't really talk to me about it. So so does he have an attorney for a Delphi case? I mean, that's a different one.
Yeah, different guy?
Yeah, so I have no legal...
So you don't?
Representation or nothing.
Oh, so you don't have a lawyer with you when you're talking to them?
No, I did that last time. He sat in, but like he told me before, I'm not your lawyer for this, so I'm just going to sit here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you're being pegged for this murder?
Yeah.
Do you?
And they've contacted my whole family, all my friends, and now no one talks to me anymore because of this. Because they all think I'm some terrible person or something. What's interesting, on the Murder Sheet podcast they just put out, like yesterday, an interview with a step brother that he had when he was younger. He said that brother says that Kegan has tried to text him multiple times and he just doesn't respond, which is exactly what he just said right there. Because they all think I'm a terrible person or something.
Well, and you were committing crimes.
Right.
Against children.
Right, so he's admitting it.
you were asking children to send you inappropriate images, correct?
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, you were doing some things wrong.
Right.
But you draw the line at you've never met these girls.
Yeah, never. No.
After this happened, did your father follow this case at all? Do you know?
Not that I know of, no.
Tell me about Anthony Schatz. Why did you create that profile?
I don't know really. I was just lonely, you know what I mean? Just talking to people. I don't know why I did it really.
Where did the name come from?
My middle name is Anthony.
On your profile, were they true? Did you own a marijuana delivery business at one point?
Oh, well, one more thing. See, right before that, he was talking about the why he created the account. On the other document that's 194 pages, that's before this interview, he said that he created it because girls would feel more comfortable talking to. I mean, it was exactly why you would think he would do it. It's like this setup account for maybe, hey, you should meet my buddy Anthony.
With a model.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah. So did I do my middle name is Anthony? Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yeah, in Las Vegas, yeah.
Okay, and what years was that operating?
2017 and 2018.
And so when did you move out to Las Vegas?
Hey, look at that, 10,002, everybody. Bang, ding, 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 ding. Yeah, make sure to hit the subscribe button.
Don't get too excited. People will unsubscribe.
They'll unsubscribe, but we'll slowly be ticking up there. Okay?
Yeah, they're like, oh wait, Gray got happy. Unsubscribe, quick.
I just happened to look down there and I was like, hey, look at that. But it might be because we have it set to only subscribers can chat. But then they'll go, okay, now I'm leaving.
Yeah, now we just.
But you should stay around because we do interesting stuff over here. All right. 2017, 2018.
And so when did you move out to Las Vegas?
I think it was like June 2017.
Okay. And you worked as a casino dealer out in Vegas as well?
No, I didn't.
Okay. What about an armed security guard? Did you ever do that?
No, but I worked, well, not really, so no. But I did help one of my friends. I was a bounty hunter out there. Wow, that sounds like somebody else. But no, but no, I wouldn't say that. I didn't pay taxes or anything for it, so.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I
mean, technically it was a job, but.
So you weren't like licensed or anything as a bounty
hunter, yeah.
Oh, okay. Were you carrying a weapon?
No. I mean, yeah. I was reading the one above it. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't expecting to hear any of this from you. I'm surprised that you don't have an attorney representing you on these charges.
So there is a podcast that's been released.
That's not you.
Oh, sorry. Wait, yeah. Got it. All I'm saying is yeah.
Yeah, that's what he says. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a podcast that's been released where one of your friends supposedly talked to a podcast host and said you were into all kinds of dark things. You were out on the dark web. Is that true?
And then he realizes she doesn't even know. I mean, using the word dark things. All this person said was on the murder sheet was dark web. So then he goes, no, dark things. What?
Well, I mean, so to some people, child pornography would be a dark thing.
Yeah, but I didn't discuss any of that with any of my friends or nothing like that.
Okay. So, but that was something you and your father both shared? You knew that about him? He knew that about you?
I wouldn't say that he knew that about me. I wouldn't, because he told the officers that he didn't know. See, isn't that ridiculous? I wouldn't say that he knew that about me. I wouldn't say that because he told the officers that he didn't know. So, therefore, I'm telling you, I don't know because he's already told see how ridiculous that is?
Right.
Yeah, it's so stupid. He's like telling them why he's saying that
Right. Not because he believes it.
Right, yeah.
So I think what she was saying is your dad might, but into child pornography.
Right.
And how long have you known that about your father?
Wait, let's see that. I wouldn't say that he knew that about me. I wouldn't. So where's the part right before that? Is your dad into child pornography? I don't know.
So it says okay, but that was something you and your father both shared. So it's like she knows that they.
I wouldn't say that he knew that about me, but here he's saying. But anyways, in the
Line
child
21.
Yeah, and he says right.
And how long have you known that about your father?
I mean, I can remember being around 20 years old and him having sex with one of my friends that was underage. Yeah. That's so crazy. I was about 19. I'd say she was about 17.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's a grown man. He's in his 40s probably by then.
Do you know what age he prefers?
I do not. No.
But he likes young women.
Right.
And he has been violent with some of those women?
Yeah, his ex-wife, yeah. He's been to jail over beating her up, yeah.
Does he have any substance abuse problems?
I mean, I know he takes prescription pills. I'm not sure if he's abusing them or not. I don't know.
Does he drink alcohol or use drugs?
Not anymore, but I know he used to, yeah.
Okay, so when did you first find out that your name was out there? Was that yesterday or the day before?
It would have been Tuesday night at 7 on the news. It was open, let's see. It was what opened the news was my face and them talking about me.
And what went through your mind when you saw that?
That's crazy. And they're putting this out there because they've done this to a few other people with the Delphi case. Put their face out there on the news and everything. Wow. And so earlier he said, I didn't follow the case at all. But yet you know all these other people that over the years, yeah.
So you think you're just the latest target.
Right.
How much did you weigh in February of 2017? Do you recall?
How much did I would say 310.
How tall are you?
I'm like 5'11", 6 feet.
How tall is your father?
About the same height.
What's his weight? Do you know?
I would say I'm not sure. 280 maybe?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you say he was with you that day, but would your father be capable of going out and walking this bridge and killing 2 girls? Would he be physically capable of doing that?
Yeah. I mean, look how crazy that is. I mean, he is answering physically capable, right? Yeah. But wouldn't you, if you're trying to protect somebody, just go, I don't know, man, he's got a little, you'd come up with some crap, right? But he's like, oh yeah, hell yeah. I mean, this guy, he hunts and he's got to pull out deer. So, I mean, yeah, I would think he would be capable of doing it, but yeah.
But you know that he was with you.
Yeah, right. That's right.
I'm worried that the clock is going to run out on the interview here pretty soon. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want people to know?
Just that I'm innocent. That's it.
Do you think you're going to be charged with anything related to Abby and Libby's murder?
No, I don't.
So the state police haven't threatened that?
Nope.
Do you feel like they're trying to get you to pin this on your dad?
Yes, I do.
And that's probably why he's not speaking to you.
Right, because when I first got arrested, they told me that they knew it was my dad, and if I tell them, all my charges will be dropped. So there you go. See, that's what it was. I think that they were trying to get him to come forward, and he was going to, and then he didn't. Then they put that thing out, the presser out. Then it led to the Anthony Schatz, Kegan Kline Association, and then all this ball got rolling here. And they're probably not cutting him the deal that he wants. Like he wants complete immunity, probably.
Child porn. Sit your ass down. They told you that last year?
Let's see. My brain. What line are you on again?
You're on line 9.
Okay. Like go, not drop, but go away. Pretty much, it's what they said.
And they told you that last year when you were arrested?
Yeah, on August 19th.
Interesting.
Boom, I put in there. Yeah.
I'd like to set up another interview with you tomorrow if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is there a time of day that works best for you?
Probably around the same time if that's possible.
You cut out.
Probably about
what time?
The same time, 2 o'clock, if that's okay.
2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay.
All right, because I'm worried this is going to cut out here at 25 minutes, and we're almost there. I really appreciate you agreeing to talk to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to get your story out, but I would certainly appreciate it if you would not give other interviews.
So yeah, that's the part I don't like right there. See, this is what goes on behind the scenes. It's, you know, they all do it. So, you know, like, hey, you know, when during the Lori and Chad Daybell, I was talking to the grandparents for many times, like 3 or 4 interviews. They come on, they just they I mean, they love me and the freaks, and they were and then all of a sudden Dateline calls me up on their phone and says, yeah, they're not they can't talk to you anymore. You know, they don't want you to talk to them. And it's like,
so wrong.
What a joke. All right, okay.
Are you okay with me putting this on television?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, wait.
Well,
okay.
Well, that's all right. Yeah, 100%. Well, thank you. I do appreciate your time today. I'm going to let you go. And I'll wait for another appointment for tomorrow at 2.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Talk to you later. You too.
Bye-bye. Or bye.
Bye.
That's pretty crazy, though. I mean...
That's insane.
Yeah.
That whole thing is a mess. He is throwing his dad under the bus in this. Which...
Yeah.
Obviously, his dad is sleeping with teenagers, and he lives in the same house. But he's also very suspicious because he's deleting apps off his phone. He absolutely was talking to the girls that day. So
yeah, so what you should do is take a look at this again. So like up in here, let's see, where is this part? On February 25th, approximately 12:30, the search warrant was executed at his residence. So this is the 2017. This is only 12 days after the murder. Okay.
Right.
And then approximately 1:25 p.m., Kegan Kline was interviewed by ISP Sergeant. Kegan stated he talks to girls he knows personally and girls he doesn't know personally. Kegan stated he meets girls on Instagram. He said he knows the age of the girls he communicates with because he talks to them. And then there's just, where is that part up here? Right, this part was strange up here. He says, during the interview, Kegan stated he was fucked and he shouldn't have left. Meaning he shouldn't have gone to Las Vegas, because he actually goes to Las Vegas shortly after the murders. Kegan advised he packed another bag. I think what he's saying is already got another bag packed, and he should have left already. And Kegan returned from Las Vegas on February 25th. So the same day the search warrant occurred, that's when he returned from Las Vegas. He stated he was going to leave when his dad was asleep. So while his dad was asleep, he was going to go back again to Vegas.
Right.
And then,
why is that a necessary detail to put in there, though?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's like Kegan told investigators the main phone he uses is the white iPhone 5C. So there you go. You got that mentioned right there, right? That's his main phone that he uses. And then all the items are iPhone 4, Apple iPhone 3, Samsung Galaxy S5, Samsung Galaxy S4, Nextbook tablet, and Apple iPod Touch.
Gosh.
And then, so they got all those items, and they go through all of these and there's the Emily Ann fake account that he created that's actually his sister, or I guess he does have a sister maybe, but I don't know. It was somebody, maybe, I don't know if it's I can't remember.
Like a recruiter almost.
Yeah, so yeah, basically, but and the Emily Ann account, according to the 194-page document, would actually get girls to send pictures of their asses and breasts, and I mean, it's just sick shit, right? But then that's not really a girl there, so
it's probably him. Or
yeah, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So you go all the way down, they block everything out, so you can't read it. And then down at the bottom here, this part's really interesting because it says, while looking over the digital forensic examination report, I noticed the user of the Apple iPhone 5C, that's his main phone, deleted multiple items off the phone before turning it into law enforcement. On February 25th, 2017, the search warrant served on the Kline residence, and Kegan was interviewed in polygraph. On February 27, 2017, Kegan, so that's 2 days after they went to the house.
Yep.
Kegan called the Indiana State Police to turn in the Apple iPhone 5C. Well, that's totally different than what he just told Barbara MacDonald. He came home and it was just sitting on the counter, and he was so concerned. He gets right on that phone. He gets right on that phone and just calls the police. Hey, you forgot this one.
Hello, please come get this phone out of my residence immediately.
Yeah, that didn't happen. So on February 25th,
sat there and deleted stuff.
Yeah, so on February 25th, 2017, at approximately 7:30, so this is in the evening, right? So Kegan's polygraph was concluded. So right at 7:30 that same night, the 25th, when they did the search warrant, he was taken away, given a polygraph test. Then at 7:30, Kegan's polygraph test was concluded, and he was transported back to his home. So now he's back home, where apparently he finds the iPhone just sitting there. The digital forensic examination report shows that at 9:19, so less than 2 hours later, the user of the iPhone 5C started to uninstall and delete apps from that phone. At approximately 9:19 p.m., the user uninstalled and deleted Snapchat. At approximately 10:14, the user uninstalled and deleted Instagram from the phone. And then the very next day, on February 26th, at 1:12 in the afternoon, the user uninstalled and deleted Meet Me from the phone. The user put Snapchat back on. So once you start doing this, it starts wiping out. On February 20, back on the device. And then on February 27, 2017, at 1:28 p.m., the user again uninstalled and deleted it from the phone. So he was just trying to write over all that stuff, and then he deleted it. And then is when Kegan admitted to using these applications to chat with underage girls. The evidence contained in this application, in these applications, were destroyed when the user deleted them from the device before turning it into law enforcement. Law enforcement officers observed Kegan staying at his girlfriend's apartment on August 14th. Located at da-da-da. So this is back. This is actually 2020.
So that's the thing too. So with like Snapchat and Instagram, what they've got on them is a function where your messages can disappear. I thought the Instagram disappearing messages came along much later, but perhaps they didn't. But with Snapchat, so if you have it installed on your device and you're talking to somebody and you have that feature, those messages go away. So, for example, if I was to look at my daughter's phone right now and she's talking to a boy and they have that on, it's gone forever unless she took some picture or, he took a picture of it, their texts. But it also shows if you do that. So a lot of times these predator guys, if they see, if you and I'm a kid and I'm talking back and forth with you and I'm the mom now who comes in and takes a snapshot to get you in trouble, they can see on their end that I just took a screenshot of that.
Yeah, so, but it does turn out that I don't know.
That's when they'll back off usually.
I don't know where Snapchat is based. I don't know. It might be another country, whatever. But you can, with subpoenas and FBI and whatever, go back and retrieve those Snapchats, even though the users and everybody, they can never see after a certain amount of time, right? It just goes poof, something like that.
Right. Yep.
But you can retrieve them, I guess, apparently. So that's how they were able to fill out. And it turns out on the 194-page document, maybe we should try to figure out a way to find the most interesting parts.
There's a lot of interesting parts in there.
Yeah, because it's totally, it really contradicts a lot of stuff even said in this, the Barbara MacDonald interview, this, what is this called here? This is called...
How much time did he get for the child pornography?
I don't know if he's had the trial yet. Seems like he's just
He's just waiting in there.
Yeah, just sitting there. Yeah. And I actually wonder now, they said in 2019, about 3 years they've been on this. So that's right before that 2019 press conference, which is interesting because that's the one where Carter seemed to be speaking to a specific person. It was really interesting. So, yeah. I think at that point they probably were like, okay, we need to keep following him.
Do you think that he had anything to do with it, or are you more leaning towards the staff?
Well, I think he might be totally aware of it. I don't think he's the guy on the bridge whatsoever. But like one thing in the murder sheet they just did yesterday, they said, did he sound like Kegan, the voice that you hear? Guys down the hill. I mean, I guess I could just hold on 1 second.
It's such a small clip, though.
Guys. Down the hill. Guys. Down the hill. Guys.
Yeah, so he said that sounds like, it doesn't sound like Kegan, but it sounds like, it doesn't sound like Tony, but it sounds like Kegan.
Tony's the dad.
Yeah, so Tony, he says, it's got a little higher pitched voice. But one thing that he didn't ask on the murder sheet, but I messaged him to ask it, was did it look like him? Because I don't think that looks like him at all. That guy looks like he weighs maybe 200 pounds. If that. Kegan looks like, he said he's 300, and I don't know, back then he might have been smaller.
His dad looks smaller than him, though.
He does look smaller, but then there's other pictures where his dad looks kind of big. I mean, here's what I think. I think the dad has, that he knows exactly what happened. And I think Kegan probably does too. I think he's aware that his dad was using it. And then maybe Emily Ann was his dad, because what they say in the 194-page document is that the writing style is totally different in various, the communication.
Oh, so that's very interesting.
Yeah. So maybe we should probably go. I mean, I did it already on my channel, but I think it'd be cool to do it with you too, right? Because we could go, it could be something similar. I don't know. Maybe we'll go through it and try to figure out the most interesting elements and try to.
He did go and meet a girl from here, though. Did he not? He met a girl at the park, and when she saw him compared to the Anthony shots, she was like,
yeah. And she brought a friend, and he got really angry
about
and
the
he started sending her this really crappy messages. This is just what a witness said on the Murder Sheet podcast.
Yeah.
And
but that shows me too that he was willing to go meet children, and his temper isn't very good.
Yeah.
Because when the friend was there, he got really, really mad and was saying some pretty bad things to her after that.
Yeah, and then he apologized later. He probably tried to, I don't know. And yeah, one of the weird parts about the 194 was one of the parts is that, the Emily Ann was like, hey, you ever been? What's your youngest person you've been with? And then, hey, what's the oldest one you've been with? Yeah. Have you ever been with like a 40-something-year-old? Yeah. And she's like, I don't. The responding person's like, nah, not really. What's weird is like they're trying to set it up where you're going to be able to meet in person an older person and already, let's get the photos sent now. See, what it eventually would have been, oh yeah, I'd be really interested in a 40-something-year-old. And then you'd send a picture over, and then you'd be like, what do you think? Yeah, I don't know. You know how these people are. It's just
that is
freaking crazy.
Awful. It's awful. You're asking little girls if they'd be who they've been with. Have you ever been with a 40-year-old? Like, that's a normal question to be asking 12, 13, 14-year-olds.
And what's frightening is how they just would respond and send pictures. And so everybody, if you got kids out there, you got to be way more vigilant about checking out what they're doing on the internet.
My daughter used to play, and this is such an innocent, quick story. She was only about 8 or 9. She used to play a little farm game, and you build your house and your farm, and you can buy stuff from neighboring farms. So you can buy horse bales and spotted ponies and clothes for them. So she would play it on her little thing, and you could chat back and forth. Now, okay, I'll trade you a piglet for a hamster. Okay. Well, this one person who she had talked to for a long time, and they had traded stuff back and forth, asked her to send pictures of her private areas for all of the stuff on this person's farm.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. And she told me, that she was going to get all the stuff from her friend's
like that. Yeah, isn't that weird? Because
so excited.
That means she was considering it, right?
Yeah, she didn't know any better, but she was like, and when she told me, she was crying because she got afraid because they were persistent about it. So she didn't know, should I take the pictures and send them or not?
That's creepy. What did you get?
But I got lucky that she told me. But there was no way to track the person.
No way to track.
It said that they were the same age and that it was a little girl. And their profile picture was like of one of the little characters. So there was nothing we could do.
But wouldn't the makers of it, like you told the FBI, or like somebody could probably track that down?
We tried to contact the company, and I went online to Facebook and I heard all kinds of similar stories.
Wow.
All kinds of similar stories that their kids were playing and people are asking them to take photos and where do you live. It's bad. Minecraft, that game now that's so popular, I've had to tell my son 100 times, don't tell anybody where you live. And my friends want to know where I live. I'm like, no, you can't tell them ever, because you don't know who's trying to, who's just innocently saying, where do you live? What state you live in? And someone who really wants to know. So you've got to be careful. And that a young girl even went to meet this guy, believing he was the model, is crazy to me. Why aren't parents telling their kids, you don't meet anybody from social media?
Yeah, it's just I almost feel like there shouldn't be allowed anymore. Like I know it sounds crazy because they're so popular, but it seems like once you turn maybe 17 or 18, you maybe can use them. When you're like a little 12 and 13, man, you should be nowhere near any of those things. Communicating with other people online. Go meet with your friends and go do something, for God's sakes,
Yeah, I'd much rather my kids are outside, but outside, has become a dangerous place. So
yeah,
I'm grateful to live where I live because, my son leaves in the morning in the summer and he comes back at nighttime. He's just playing all day and getting dirty and playing in the dirt with his friends. Other than that, the winter, he's on that Minecraft game.
Yeah. But hey, I hope you guys thought that was interesting. This is pretty crazy stuff.
This is interesting. This case is, it's tragic when you see the pictures of Abby and Libby. It's awful. And you want justice for them, and then you hear about a creeper like this, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and the thing is that I was told by, Robert Ives, the prosecutor, and the police had always been telling the family, because I was in communication with the family, that the internet and social media had nothing to do with the case. And apparently this happened in 2017, this whole thing right here. But apparently they probably were like, ooh, man, he seems good. But they kind of cleared him at the time because they really didn't have the subpoena information back or whatever, that had all of the chat conversations. And maybe like in 2019 when they did their reset, and then it led back in that direction. So the family is really disappointed that they were told that the whole time. And I'm like,
I would think that it should be so easy. I guess I'm split on this.
Well, it does seem like it.
I feel like it should be like that. When you get the subpoena, when you go to the judge and you're able to get that information.
Yeah, but sometimes they're foreign.
It should be like that.
Well, yeah, but the problem is that they're foreign countries sometimes. Right. And then they're just like, yeah, well, and then you have to go through these other. Yeah, no, but I agree. Like, it should be just quick. And it's weird that this didn't ring somebody's alarm bells a little bit more, like, hey, let's keep somebody on this thing here. Yeah. This account is a catfishing account that communicated with Libby's phone, and we need to stay on this and keep digging, okay? No matter what
was he really the last person to talk to Libby?
Well, they're saying that was the last communication on her phone. I don't know about that because she called her dad too. But wouldn't that be weird if even after they were dropped off? Was that?
What if it was the father, Tony, communicating from his phone using the same profile?
Yeah, no, yeah. That's what they're wondering. There's a communication at like 8 a.m. from a phone, one of the devices to the Libby account. They just didn't go into the details on it or anything like that.
Of what it said. That is so frustrating.
But I wonder if there's another one. See, I always thought it was weird because when at the home, Derek takes off to go to, so it's like at 12, what is it? Let's see, what would that be? Probably like at 1 o'clock, Derek leaves the house. And the girls are just fine. They're just playing around, doing their thing. And then probably like at 1:10 or something, Kelsey goes, well, I'm going to take off. And they go, hey, can we go? And see, the dad would have easily driven them anywhere. Mm-hmm. But then Kelsey's the one that drove them to the bridge. But what was it? Maybe there was a communication between, like right around 1 o'clock. Hey, I'll meet you guys at the bridge. And when they got there, Libby was so excited to meet this cute Anthony Schatz person. And maybe when they get there, they see this sort of ogre-looking person. Right. And, they're still going to wait around for 20 minutes. That's why there's a delay in the timing of the first photograph. There's like a 30-minute missing time, 20 minutes. So maybe they were just waiting around for the cute Anthony Schatz to show up. And he never showed up. And they didn't think anything of the ogre guy, but they needed to kill time, so they go to the bridge. And then when they're halfway across, they look back and that monster's coming. And I think at one point, Libby realized that was the guy. And that's when she started filming, And they got to get this one solved just for, both of those girls.
They have to get it solved. Have to do it.
Yeah, for both of them. It's just unbelievable. And that means that Kelsey Libby probably saw Abby killed in front of her face, because I think she was first, and then it was like,
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and they stayed together. Obviously, if there's a gun, it's easy to control people to have them not do something, and there is apparently there is a gun in the scenario, but I don't believe that's what killed them.
They haven't let out those details, right?
No, but they, it's been inferred that maybe like a knife, because somebody released the funeral photograph of Libby. Idiot released that, and when it was released, then Becky had to come out and say, well, Libby had to wear a scarf and Abby didn't. So there was some, it's a freaking nightmare is what it is. But
it is a nightmare that anybody, number one, would take a photo of a child in a coffin.
Yeah.
Is insane to me, but
no, it's probably about the sickest shit you've ever heard. Who would even think of it? Like, hey, I'm gonna get my God.
No, they took pictures of Kanika in her coffin, remember?
Yeah, well, people should just be, a family member should be allowed to just unload punches to the face for about 20 minutes without any legal ramifications to people that do shit like that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But, yeah. Hey, everybody hit that like button out there.
Hit the like it. No.
Did you guys find that?
The auctioneer.
Did you guys find that interesting? You guys all want me to do the auctioneer, do you? So go hit that like button really quick. Or
are you going to show them our ball?
I was going to show it.
You should.
I'm fired up at 10 down, 15 on the
hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button,
20, I'm 30, I'm 30, I'm 30, 25, I'm 30, go to 30, sir, 25, you're out, I'm 25, I'm 30, 30, now 5, I'm 30.
All right, here we go. Here you go, everybody. Here's the Crime Con stress ball. Look at that.
Look at it.
Woo!
How cute is that, guys?
So mean. Little different font on the so mean, but it sticks out.
Yeah, you could throw that at people, guys,
well,
and you're not even
I'm sorry it's not my face that you could crush, but...
we were just going to put Gray's face on there so you could smash it, but...
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Mama Sheet 13. Yeah. And what we're doing at the end of the month, we're donating 25% of the net revenue to charities. We already did 210 at the beginning of the month. Hopefully we'll do some more at the end of... No, obviously we'll do more at the end of the month, but hopefully it'll be more.
Yeah.
And we need more channel members, because that's part of it too. So if you want to join the channel, feel free to do so. Yeah. So what else? You have any more thoughts on this? I think we should do the other document. What do you think?
I do.
It's really long. We could maybe break that up into 3 parts or something. It's so long.
I think it's important to go through, because I do really, really feel like they're going to crack this case at some point. And for those who haven't followed it, there's so much in this case, that could still be discussed. I don't know how many of, the people who come over from my area have followed this. I barely ever followed it until you started talking more about it. And then when I started reading, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so in depth. There's so much that's gone on, and these poor little kids. So
imagine how much more they know than what we just know right here. So even like when they said in the document, like it's a very complicated case with all kinds of stuff going on. And yeah, I mean, all three of these, the interview, the 194-page document, and this document right here, the probable cause affidavit, none of them line up. Right. I mean, there's hardly anything that lines up at all that's consistent throughout them. I mean, it's really strange. I mean, not strange. It's obvious that the guy's lying his ass off, but it's hard to do.
It's clear that they're not giving up on this case. They're not going to let it fall into being a cold case.
Oh no,
which is great, because a lot of times, cases kind of just fade. If you've got nothing, they just kind of fade away.
Yeah. Now, if you go listen to the Murder Sheet podcast they just did with the stepbrother, they in the 194-page document, they give a hypothetical. I think I mentioned it earlier to Kegan about, if a man beat a kid's face and broke his orbital socket and plunged him into a toilet, what would you think to do to that guy? And he goes, oh, yeah, I'd execute him. But it's weird. It's like, hey, how come you didn't remember that story is exactly what happened to your stepbrother when you were living together? And so the stepbrother was like, yeah, that's weird that they put that in there. But it actually happened. He beat his wife too, and then it's just, guys, he's a freaking monster.
Sounds like a wonderful man.
Yeah, Tony Kline's a freaking monster, and Kegan's not far behind. Like father, like son. It's just.
Yeah, you don't just start looking for child pornography, out of nowhere. So, what did he see? What has he seen? Mm-hmm. What's going on? What is Kegan protecting his dad from? Why? Is it because he's afraid, or what?
Yeah, like in the 194-page document, he talks about how he doesn't share the porn on his phone with his dad. He doesn't even implicate his dad at all, really, in that document. But in the same document, he and his dad were going to Vegas to go to a brothel. Like a they're going to go to a brothel, but they're not going to share porn pictures on a phone. Hell no. I mean,
right.
There isn't anybody.
Your dad slept with your friend who was underage. I think you're lying.
Yeah,
sir.
Yeah, it's totally bullshit right there. So, anyways, all right.
Well, it's been lovely to see you today.
Yeah, well, I thought it was interesting, and it was good to go over it again because it made me think a little bit more about it. Like refresh some things, and
Any updates on the story we did just the other day, the Naomi?
Not really. No. I mean, I did watch. What's the one with Vinny Politan? What's that show that he does? They're always like behind. Every time you watch those, they're not even aware that the image of the pickup truck was late in the afternoon, like in the afternoon. They're talking about, well, they went right from there over to the. Well, it can't be that if that's what you're using. So it's strange that they always keep talking about.
I never watch any of those. I don't know.
No, somebody just sent me the link. Somebody sent me the link.
Races and all. No.
Yeah.
I can't. It's a little too sensational for me, so. No.
Yeah. Yeah, Court TV, that's what it is, yeah.
Court.
And then they have other YouTuber comes on there all the time. And I sent both of them the information after their show. I haven't heard back from any of them. Because it's like, oh, yeah, that counters what we said, but we can't ever admit that we didn't say it the right way, so we can't, it just sucks.
Well, they should, though, at least, your programs showed exactly what time it was.
Yeah.
So that does change the story. You can't think that it was still dark outside because it was clearly light.
Yeah, even if it was just barely light, that's still 2 hours later. That's the crazy part, is the only light at 6:55, and the abduction was like, well, let's say it was about an hour and a half later. If it was just barely light, but it wasn't.
You could see from your shadows, you know, when you lined up the
Yeah.
shadows of the program, what time it was.
Yeah,
That
no.
was hours later.
It's really accurate too. That thing. It's unbelievable. But yeah, all right. Well, we'll be coming back on sooner than later.
Yes.
All right.
Sometime this weekend for show.
Yeah, one of the 2 days on the weekend.
Are you golfing this weekend?
No, I'm
or-
taking time off. I'm doing this like physical thing because my, the thing is I get in so much pain walking around because my hips and everything have been so tight that I'm doing this therapy stuff where it's really, man, it's been feels pretty good. Like things don't hurt that used to hurt. So I'm feeling like this might be the start of feeling better. Be
Very
better.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, there it is. That's the Crime Con. If you show up to Crime Con and you're one of the first 100 and whatever people to get there, you get one of these.
There you go.
We
Look at
We didn't bring 600 of them.
that. Not 600.
We should have got more though, because I think everybody that comes by wants one. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was underestimating.
You get what you get. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it. That's all you can have.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, maybe just stay on for a couple minutes.
God. Fine.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hit the like button or subscribe before you get out of here. Hey, we're at 10,016. All right. Bada bing. All right. We'll see you guys soon. I'll be doing my show obviously later. So we'll be talking to you guys later. And as I always say, be safe out there and
So much.
all right.
No talking.
Bye-bye. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I'm coming back on. I'm coming back on. Hold on a second.
What are you coming back on for?
Thank you, Emily. I didn't say thanks, everybody. I didn't, everything was fine by the end. But thank you to Emily Flotilla, Delva Johnson, Amy CHS again, Tamara, not today, but tomorrow, Chico's Mummy, Mama She 13 for a $50 one there. Thank you. WNC Granny 1, Quietly Frozen, and LM. So thank you guys. Sorry for forgetting that right at the beginning there. And if you want to, become a channel member. All right. Now back to the exit. Bye-bye. You. So mean.